How's it going, guys? It's K Cars, and today we're back with another Jeep video. So as you see right there is my 2001 Jeep Cherokee XJ, and in this video I kind of wanted to just go ahead and explain how slip yoke eliminators work, as well as a CV drive shaft, because that is probably the next step for my Jeep right here. Let's go ahead and crawl under the Jeep and I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so we're underneath the Jeep right now. And my goal with this video is to basically just give a simple explanation of how slip yoke eliminators and CV drive shafts work. So if you're a beginner just starting out with this Jeep stuff, then this video is just for you, and I hope I explained this well enough. So basically, whenever you lift a Jeep, in my case, I have a 3-inch lift from Rusty's Off-Road. But basically, whenever you lift a Jeep, the whole body goes up as many inches as the lift is for. So since I have a 3-inch lift, the body went up about 3 inches, and then a few more because of the bigger tires as well. So since the body goes up, the transfer case right here goes up with it. So before we get any farther, I'm just going to go through a few terms that you would need to know. So first of all, this right here is the transfer case. You got the drain plug and the fill plug right here. And then, so the transfer case pretty much allows you to switch between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. And then this whole thing right here is the drive shaft. Then it goes all the way back over here. So one thing about the rear drive shaft is that it actually has a slip yoke. Now what that means is that right over here, this part, it actually slips in and out of the transfer case. So if you kind of think about it here, whenever the suspension moves up and down, the drive shaft is going to also, it's going to have to extend and get shorter. So that's what the slip yoke does. So basically with the suspension traveling like this, it's going to make the distance between the transfer case and the back here longer or shorter. So that distance is made up by the slip yoke right over here. So that's basically what a slip yoke eliminator is eliminating. Now, it's not eliminating the slipping completely, because if you did that, then it wouldn't be able to, the suspension wouldn't be able to travel very well, because it wouldn't be able to slip in and out. So what a slip yoke eliminator does is, instead of slipping in and out of the transfer case, it actually moves the slipping point to the drive shaft. Now, that's what a CV drive shaft means. Some people call it a double Carton drive shaft, and I just call it a CV drive shaft. That's usually what people refer to it as. But basically, the front drive shaft on a Jeep, Jeep Cherokee XJ right here, it actually is a CV drive shaft, like from the factory all stock. So right here you can see, this is where the slip yoke would be. That's where it is right there on the rear. But since this is a CV drive shaft, it actually slips on the drive shaft itself. So if you look right over there, that's where the drive shaft slips in and out to make up for the suspension travel. And it actually does not slip in and out of the transfer case. Now, here's the double Carton joint that I was talking about. You can see, because there's one, and then 2 right there, if you can see that. And there's no slip yoke going in and out of the drive shaft, like I said. So it actually just slips right there on the actual drive shaft. The slip yoke eliminator, you're eliminating the slippage from the transfer case to the drive shaft. So usually whenever you lift the Jeep, sometimes all Jeeps are different, but if you lift the Jeep without doing a slip yoke eliminator and a CV drive shaft, sometimes you do get driveline vibrations, which can lead to other problems down the road. Now, this Jeep actually does have slight vibrations. I would show you guys on the video, but they really don't come out. You can't really hear the vibrations on camera, or else I would show you guys what they sound like. But basically, the slip yoke eliminator is supposed to get rid of those vibrations, and vibrations lead to wear and tear of the U-joints and other things that could lead to bigger problems down the road. So some people, in order to correct those vibrations, an easy fix would be to just drop the transfer case down an inch. That would also correct the angle, because like I said, whenever you lift the Jeep, the transfer case goes up with the Jeep. So that means the angle of your drive shaft is going to be more severe. So basically, your drive shaft goes from sitting to something like this, and then you lift the Jeep, transfer case goes up. Now your drive shaft is angled like that, and that's what causes those driveline vibrations. A simple fix or a band-aid that you could do to fix those vibrations if they're not too bad is, like I said, you could just do a transfer case drop kit. They're basically like spacers that you put on here, and it drops your transfer case an inch. So that sometimes corrects the driveline vibrations. By lowering the transfer case, you're lowering the angle of the drive shaft, which sometimes helps. But like I said, that is pretty much just a band-aid. The Slip Yoke Eliminator with the CV drive shaft is the proper way to fix the vibrations. There's a pretty good video put out on YouTube by Tom Wood's custom drive shaft. I will link that video down in this description, but I'm also going to put in some screenshots in this video. So here's what a lift Jeep looks like, the drive shaft without a Slip Yoke Eliminator. So as you can see, the angle of the drive shaft is actually pretty severe, a lot more than stock. Now here's a picture of what it looks like with a Slip Yoke Eliminator. So as you guys saw in that first screenshot, the drive shaft was actually slipping out of the transfer case so severely, and because of that, the angle of the drive shaft was even more severe. Now with the Slip Yoke Eliminator, the drive shaft was all the way back here, like connected all the way back here. So that means the angle could be a lot less severe, and it could still slip because it had that slipping point in the actual drive shaft instead of out of the transfer case. So that's basically how a Slip Yoke Eliminator works. There is a lot more math involved in it, and like I said, that video that I told you guys about from Tom Wood's custom drive shaft on YouTube, he gets way more into the math, like all the different angles and stuff like that. But like I said, with this video, I kind of wanted to make it beginner focused and just give you guys a basic understanding of how this stuff works. So if you lift the Jeep very high and you have a lot of suspension flex in the rear, then this could actually completely slip out of the transfer case. Now that's obviously what you don't want to happen. So that's another good reason for a Slip Yoke Eliminator. Now, sometimes to save money, you can do the Slip Yoke Eliminator and actually just use a stock front drive shaft in the rear instead of just buying a brand new custom CV drive shaft. Because like I said, the stock front drive shaft is already a CV drive shaft or a double Carton drive shaft, so it would fit with a Slip Yoke Eliminator. And basically, with the Slip Yoke Eliminator, you basically have a brand new tail housing right here and a fixed yoke. So that's what that looks like. That's the fixed yoke right here. So you would have basically this part would be right over here, and then of course you would have a CV drive shaft connecting it to the rear right there. There's a few different companies that make Slip Yoke Eliminator kits. Rubicon Express, Rough Country, Advanced Adapters. There's definitely a few others, but the one that I'm going with is from Advanced Adapters. And I'm also getting a custom Tom Wood CV drive shaft to go with that. So I chose to just go ahead and get a brand new drive shaft because I just want to get a fresh new drive shaft because this one's all rusty. And I'm assuming if I go get a stock drive shaft from the front, it'll also be pretty rusty, just like this one. So I figured it would just be better to spend some extra money and get a brand new drive shaft. All right, so right here is the kit that I'm looking at. This is on Rusty's Off-Road's website. Like I said, it has the Advanced Adapters Slip Yoke Eliminator kit with the Tom Wood CV drive shaft. $535 for the whole kit. And like I said, this is for the NP231 transfer case. There also is the NP242. And the reason you know which one you have is if you have four-wheel drive full-time, then you have the NP242. If you only have four-wheel drive high part-time, then that's a 231, and that's what I have in this Jeep. And also you can look right over here. You probably can't see that on camera, but it says 231 right there. So once again, just for review, whenever you lift the Jeep, the transfer case goes up, so the angle of your drive shaft goes from something like this to more severe like that. And that's because the slip yoke actually pulled out part of the drive shaft from the transfer case. So it's going to cause a more severe angle of the drive shaft. Now, with the Slip Yoke Eliminator, you eliminate the slip yoke from right over here, and you actually make it slip on the actual drive shaft. So that means you're eliminating this whole part, and you have a fixed yoke right over here. And a fixed yoke looks just like this. That's on the front drive shaft. So that means that this part of your drive shaft is able to go all the way back here, which will make the angle of your drive shaft a lot less severe, and hopefully eliminate those driveline vibrations that were caused by having the more severe drive shaft angle. And like I said, there is more math involved in this with all the different angles and stuff. I'm not going to be covering that in this video. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a beginner's perspective of how a slip yoke eliminator works and how it actually works with all the different drive shaft angles. If you guys want to check out Tom Wood's custom drive shafts on YouTube, they actually have a few different videos going through all the different math and angles of the drive shaft, and they basically tell you what your drive shaft should look like and like the specific angles that it's supposed to have. But I hope I gave you guys a pretty good beginner's overview of how a slip yoke eliminator works, as well as a CV drive shaft. My goal with this video, like I said in the beginning, was to pretty much give you guys all the different terms and a basic understanding of how it actually works. Now, if you guys are beginners, I hope this video helped you guys out, because I know just a few months ago I had no idea what a slip yoke eliminator was, and this is the type of video that I would have liked to watch. So I know there's definitely a whole bunch of great videos talking about slip yoke eliminators, but hopefully this gave you guys a pretty good beginner's perspective of how all this stuff works down here. Now, the status of my slip yoke eliminator kit, I already have it ordered through the shop that is doing the install for me, and he actually is a Rusty's dealer, so I'm hoping he's going to have it sometime soon. It's already been 3 weeks since then, and I know Rusty's has been having some shipping problems, but hopefully it's not too much longer. And I will be doing a before and after comparison and review, of course, talking to you guys about how it actually works and if it actually did eliminate the driveline vibrations that I've been having. And like I said, I don't really have too severe vibrations right now, and I would show you guys, but it just doesn't come out on video, so you just have to take my word for it. They are not too severe, they're just really slight vibrations. So I'm really hoping that with the slip yoke eliminator kit and the CV drive shaft installed, it won't have any vibrations, and I won't have to worry too much about future problems of, the vibrations that I have now. So guys, feel free to check out some of my other Jeep videos that I have on my channel here, as well as Challenger videos. If you guys have any questions or video suggestions for videos you would like to see in the future, make sure to drop those down below in the comments. And I am also planning to do a full paint correction on this Jeep. I have basically been working to restore this whole thing ever since I got it a little bit over a year ago. So you can definitely expect to have a paint correction video coming. And really hope this video helped you guys out to understand all this stuff. If you guys liked this video or found it entertaining, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.